On today's episode of the Beehive, we have Blen here. Blen is how you like to say it.
Wow.
Okay, right?
Yeah, you got it right.
I already messed up.
do you
Cut the
say
shit.
it?
So you'll try
And we have
Yeah.
Soheil. And for those of you that don't know Soheil, he's actually a part of this podcast team. He was one of the founders, if you will, with
Founding
me.
fathers.
Yeah.
The NFFA.
And since we're all friends, we decided to do this together today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you
I
for
appreciate
inviting
it.
me.
Absolutely super excited to have her on.
And thank you for being on time. That doesn't usually happen on
I
the
brought her, so
I
Then
guess we'll give it to you.
you're responsible for every guest coming in. You drive him here.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So me and you met, I want to say about a year ago at one of the art events that was going on.
I think it was 2 years ago, like very like in passing. It was
Yeah, I
at
was
the
gonna say
art
maybe
gallery.
two.
When we did
Yes,
Brush
that's
Strokes 2.0.
right. Where you
Yeah.
guys had all those T-shirts being painted
Yeah.
on those
Oh, yeah,
mannequins.
I was at that.
That
That was my
thing.
first event, too.
Yeah,
That's where I saw you there.
That's right.
Yeah.
I never met you then.
No.
Did I? No.
The
No.
bar was really nice
stared
there.
from far
Oh,
away.
I
beautiful.
remember the setup was really dope.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well,
Yeah, it
that's
was really
where
nice
that's
setup.
where I met you.
Yes.
But then we kept kind of seeing each other over and over again at these art events, and I always knew you were involved, but I didn't know about this whole Soul Search Canada and you being, the founder of this company. And so I guess we're here to talk about a little bit about that and some of the events coming up, and maybe you could share with us, because everybody thinks Edmonton is called Deadmonton,
Edmonton, yes.
Yeah.
and we're here to prove those people wrong.
I was
So-
one of those people. So I guess,
Me
part of
too.
wanting to bring her on was, she kind of opened my eyes indirectly through, I'm really good friends with her brother. First before I met her,
Mhm.
and he said, "Yeah, come to this event." Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. And it was the art gallery. It was that event actually that we came to, because I went and you said, "Oh, you're going," and I was like, "Oh, I'm going too."
That's right. I messaged you
I
before
got
I got
really
there.
drunk that night. Really.
That's
drunk
why I
that
didn't
night.
see you the rest
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the
No, I was hanging out in the dark corners of that place.
Yeah.
But no. And then I was like, "This is crazy." I'm like, and then he's like, "Yeah, there's a thing next week and a thing next week," and I'm like, I hate this city because there's nothing to do, and I'm not standing in line at Privé at 8, like minus 40 weather.
Yeah.
Like I'm 30, I can't be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, well, and then I got on Soul Search, and I've been to most of the events, not all of them, but yeah, no, that's why I wanted to bring her on here, is to kind of just alleviate some of the Edmonton people's stresses about there's nothing to do. You don't have to go to Privé. Not that there's anything wrong with that place,
I
but
like Privé.
okay, great.
I haven't been there in a while. I haven't been there in a while, but I like Privé.
Yeah. So and yeah, we just want to talk about that. So
Well, thank you. So she's not just a pretty face.
absolutely not.
We're going to be very interested in what she has
Yes,
to say.
absolutely.
All right. Care to share what Soul Search Canada is all about?
Yeah, so Soul Search Canada is an organization that promotes self-discovery through creative expression. So we do this by hosting multimedia showcases that bring different mediums of arts together, also with workshops and retreats. So specifically workshops because ideally, helping individuals on this journey of self-discovery. At times, like the internet's filled with information and sometimes they don't know where to start. So it's always good when it's humanized, like you have someone that can kind of direct you. So the workshops are hosted by subject matter experts that can, give tips and advice to individuals. Like, I wish that I had known this when I had first started out and such. And yeah, you just get to connect with different people. And yeah,
How long has it been going on for?
we officially started in March of this year.
Oh, so this is like
Yeah.
just recently.
Yeah. But I've been doing community development and
Yeah, you've been involved
helping
for a
with
while.
events for 3-4 years now in different capacities. So I've helped run city festivals, like the first Afrofest in Edmonton.
Oh, wow.
I was a part of Art State of Mind.
Yes.
There's
I
a
love
group,
that show.
Yeah, there's a group, Africa Unite. I've been a part of YG The Come Up, hosting conferences and different
Nice.
events. So
She's everywhere.
yeah,
She is. That's
know.
good.
She's
Yeah.
trying to make this city nice, which is
Edmonton's bigger than you think, so
yeah,
that takes a lot of
exactly.
work.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So that was in March.
yeah, March is when we started.
And so how many events have you personally kind of gotten involved in or started since then? Have you been responsible for anything that's happened that was under your watch? Like you kind of got it going, you promoted it and had the event? Have you done any?
So from March to June, we actually held 3 events, one of them
Oh.
being a launch.
Quick.
Yeah, so it's just been dope. It's been a great experience. So far with those 3 events, we've had probably over 650 guests attended, once you've combined everything.
Yeah.
Been able to showcase about 37 or 38 creatives, and then we also feature our artists on our social media platforms. So we've done a lot in like a short amount of time. So
Yeah,
Good for you.
yeah.
Absolutely. I didn't know it was that. I didn't know it was that new. I honestly thought the Soul
Yeah.
Search was kind of.
Yeah, I wasn't
I
sure
always thought it
either.
was jumping into something that was already going on.
Oh,
so.
no.
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought she was going to say like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had
no.
But
idea.
I guess you're kind of branched off from that, right? Like you said, you were
Yeah.
affiliated with some other companies and other
Yeah.
organizations. So
Mm.
it's good though. I don't think it's a market that's saturated at all. So it's nice to see people that are actually taking the initiative, because I think it's to some extent it's probably a thankless job, right? Like bringing to the forefront of art and creativity in Edmonton. I don't really put art and Edmonton in the same category when I think of
Unless-
that baseball bat on 97th and I want to shoot myself. But,
Right? Is it still there?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Does it spin?
Yeah, it's a ride for people now.
I heard somebody
It's
say it
dangerous.
spins.
Yeah.
Like
I know
Yeah,
It
it's
spins, yeah.
dangerous. It spins
yeah, baseball.
uncontrollably, because we have a great baseball team. If you don't know about Edmonton,
We have a baseball
we
team?
don't. Do we?
No,
Cracker
I
Cats?
thought we do. No.
Trappers?
Crapper Cats? What?
I forget.
We're gonna get sued.
It's a nice stadium they have for them, but it's too bad. It's not being
It's not.
from the
You
outside.
been to a real baseball stadium?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah,
I
so
used to
then-
live in Toronto.
Okay, well then
right
you know.
across the street.
Well,
from
then
Rogers.
you should know better.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I wasn't comparing it to the Blue Jays. Jeez. So you did that. You've been doing that since March. Now, was there something that motivated you to get into that? Was it just your previous work with some of these other organizations where you connected with a lot of people and you said, you know what, I'm going to do it on my own. I have some great ideas, and obviously I have all the help and people in Edmonton backing me up. Was that the thinking behind it?
It was more of, I had been a part of like so many organizations, like an extensive amount of them. And I was always doing things at the same time, and I loved it, and I got to connect with different people and do different things. But I think the reason why I really wanted to start Soul Search is I love the fact that everybody was getting together, right? You can get hundreds of people into a room. But I kind of wanted to take it a step further and have something that's like very valuable about that. Right. So it's one thing to have like 400 people, 500 people all into one room. And you
Which
guys
is
are
a
like,
lot of people.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is
sure.
like, having fun, kind of turning up, like maybe drinking, and that's completely fine. But like, if you have 400 people or this huge amount of individuals in one space, what can we really do to like motivate them to get on their own journey of self-discovery, or like incorporate, aspects of like positivity and just having like a deeper understanding of who we are.
Good for you.
So that's why with every Soul Search event, it's like a very unique experience, because it's always factored in, right? So I know you came to the Recharge series.
I was just gonna say she suckered me into doing some stand-up comedy at one of her shows.
You do stand-up comedy?
No, that's the problem.
I've known you for a while. You've never said anything funny.
That's the
Oh
problem.
yeah, he's hilarious.
So no, she suckered, and I say
Just
suck,
putting him
and
on the spot.
And I say sucker because she suckered me.
Okay.
It was a really awesome event, and I love being there. I love being part of it, but it was hilarious because it was like there's not always just one thing going on, which is awesome. Like I find that when you go to an art show, I can only look at so many abstract paintings where I'm like, okay, this is all just a bunch of squares.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah.
But she's always all the events that I've been to, not to pump your tires too much, but it's always something else going on. Like if you're not into art, well, there's music, and if you're not into music, there's rap, and if there isn't rap, there's an idiot trying to tell jokes in between shows on stage.
Were there any tomatoes thrown?
If they had them, I'm sure they would be thrown.
No.
For sure.
Really?
For sure. There were like 4
No.
people listening. They're like, "Is this a smoke break time?"
Was-
It's smoke break time. Let's go.
So is that your first shot at comedy?
No,
Was that
God,
like
no.
Okay, so you had done it before.
Yeah, yeah.
And she kind of knew that.
I
Yes.
guess
Yeah. I've seen you at
Stalker. you can do that. Too.
That wasn't him. That was his
That's all
twin.
right. Oh man, what?
Just kidding.
How do you know that? Nice
So-
suppression of your laugh, by the way.
I know. When you said that, I was like, I'm not gonna do that right now.
Yeah,
5
we
minutes
haven't
in.
heard that
No.
funny laugh yet. Okay.
We're gonna
wait.
wait for like 40.
So that wasn't your first go at it. You had been doing it. She knew about it. She
Yeah.
got you up there.
And I love that. I love that about the events is like
So it's not just focused just strictly on art.
no, and
There's
the-
lots of things you can do.
and not to speak for her at all, but like I as someone who goes to the events, not
Yeah.
that organizes them, 'cause I don't see
Yeah.
any of the background work really, it's pretty immersive. Like you're right, you go there and it's not just let's have Henny until we can't see. That happens, which is great. And I have a great story about her.
There's that laugh.
Her at that. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
You can't
Turn
get
off her
away from
mic
the mic.
quickly.
Just break it. I'll break it right off.
Just turn off. Don't break it.
What?
What's wrong with you?
It's okay.
Nobody breaks shit in the studio.
He gets upset.
Only
about that.
Chris when he drops his camera.
Chris is here.
Yeah. We're
No,
going to have him on
so-
camera right away, and then
yeah.
all this will go to shit when you see
Exactly.
that beautiful face up here.
God, he's pretty.
Right.
No, but like it was totally immersive. Like it's fun. You can go. It's a community. Like it's always 95% to 80% the same people, and then there's always you bring a friend or somebody comes, and that's how it grows. Like I've seen it actually kind of grow over the few events that I've been to.
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing, like I said, is totally immersive. Like there's different people doing things. So yeah, it's fun to go and have a couple drinks with your buddies, but you almost lose that thought to like, let's get messed up or let's get fucked up and let's get crazy with it, because I'm like, oh, there's a show going on, there's a guy rapping in 10 minutes and there's a guy telling jokes in 2 minutes and stuff like that. So that's what I always loved about it. And I was like, when she said, I didn't want to do it because I don't like doing it that much, but I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, I'll come be a part of it, because you know what, it's an inviting kind of atmosphere, and that's totally different to the stuff that I've been to in Edmonton.
Especially, I was just going to say, especially in this city,
absolutely,
where you don't find a lot of that goes on. No. Good for you.
And I feel like a lot of times too, when you go to a lot of events, it's like it's just clicked up. It's like who you came with, the people that you know. But one thing that we really push for Soul Search is like you've mentioned, that welcoming atmosphere. So like you really start to connect with people, even if you're a shy person, you start connecting with people that you never thought you would, right? Like you're looking at all these like different options, whether it's pop-up shops where vendors are coming in and they're showcasing their clothing, or it's like, the 7-8 different artists that have their artwork showcased, or the DJs or whoever it may be. And you get to really connect with people. And one thing that you said that I really want to talk about is it's not just like, kind of going to a show and just like viewing art. But I think for myself, another reason why I wanted to start Soul Search is that I wanted to really, expand the definition of art, right? Like art, usually it's like some type of visual form, whether that's painting or a musician, whatever. But what about everything else that incorporates some type of creative aspect, but they're not considered to be an artist, right? So like for myself, like I consider myself to be an artist, but my art is not tangible. It's like experiences through event planning, right? So
I was just going to ask you, so are you an artist? And if so, on what level? Like what is your art?
Yeah, I would say it's like planning an event that creates this like crazy experience for people.
Which is an art all on its own.
Exactly.
100%.
So
it's not just a fun t-shirt to look at.
No, right?
I love that shirt. Like, you love art.
We were going to collaborate, but my dashiki is dirty. So.
Yeah?
We're supposed to match today, but
we got stuff going on with clothing. Yeah. I feel like we're just going to have our own store, or our own outlet. Right. Yeah. And we'll support that. That'll rock.
And I'll support what she says. Like, again, I'm basically like, I'm a fanboy of what she does. So, and that's why we wanted her on, like myself.
Yeah.
Individually, but like when I went there, like the second or third event that I went to was at a radio station.
Yes.
And it started, we got there a little bit late, brown time, and it started, and I got there and everyone's holding hands. Like, this is a room. So this is a room of strangers, man. Like there's some pretty gangster looking guys in there
holding hands.
Holding hands. Everyone's holding hands. And they have the complete attention of the whole room, and they're going through like this, this like energy revival kind of thing. And I walk in and I'm like, I don't hold hands with anybody. But like you get sucked into it. Like it's like she said, it's immersive. And
so you've never done the depki before?
The what now?
The depki.
No, I don't know what that is.
You've never seen Arabs at a wedding hold hands? And yeah, so we're used to that. I would have felt very comfortable, very at home.
But it kicked off the event right, and there's always been something like that.
Yeah.
That kind of just is like, it forces you to come out of your shell, and like you're, like you said, if you're there and they're shy. Like I met 2 or 3 people. I have friends that I've made through these events, which is completely crazy. Because I go to events all the time for work and stuff, and I avoid people because it doesn't bring you out to be social. It's like you're here to be like for work. Like for my work, if I do a dinner or an event or like a work event, I go there and I schmooze and I'll rub elbows, and then I'm like, I gotta get out of here. This is ridiculous. Yeah. But there I'm like, what's next? What are we doing? What are we?
That's one thing I notice about your shows is that everybody seems to be so friendly.
Yep, definitely.
Like, and honestly speaking, like when you walk in there, it's 95% blacks and it's women and men, everything. And you would think that a non-African American might be intimidated. You know what I mean? Especially if you're not used to that kind of crowd. I found everybody to be super friendly, super into art, very approachable. They would approach me, and so right from the get-go at those events, I felt super comfortable.
Yeah.
It's such it doesn't even speak volumes to what he's saying. You have to be there. It's very it's very welcoming. Yeah. I definitely noticed that about the events.
And the thing too is like, we talk about, man, ever since I was in social 10 or whatever, grade 4, they're like, Canada's a melting pot, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, fucking it's not. Get out of here. There's the north side, there's the south side, there's a river, and there's a bunch of shit in between. Yeah. It's really not. But at these this is one thing that I said to a friend of mine that was there with me. I said, this is a melting pot. This is, you're right, just like you said, completely stripped down. We're just humans having a good time and learning about each other. That's exactly what it felt like. And I've never ever at an event with that many multicultural people, with that many mixed, affiliations. Like you can tell there is a little bit of clickiness, and there is guys who are friends in groups, but there isn't any of that. It's not an oil and water thing. It's like everybody goes there and and some part of the planning, I'm sure, is the spatial planning. Like,
Yes.
you guys bring everyone together and force them together, right?
Mhm.
It's good. I like it.
And
It's
is this event always done in the same like building or?
No, they're always done in like different areas. So our launch party, for example, was at this like floral shop, Fabulosity.
Floral study.
Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
beautiful.
You put 500 people in a floral shop?
No, that one we had about our launch. We had about 200 people.
That's still a lot.
Yeah,
Like you're throwing these
150.
numbers. Like I had a party once when I had draft, and we had about 760 people show up, and that was 15,000 square feet, and it was jam packed. And I never would have envisioned 700 people looking like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You say 200. For example, a place like Boulevard downtown,
Yeah.
the occupancy load there's got to be about 200.
250, I think.
You know,
Yeah.
Okay.
Avenue, 150
Avenues.
if you're pushing it.
Society 8.
A little bit less.
8 people.
But it's
and
not.
staff.
But it's not. It's
Sorry,
not. It's not as much as you think when you think about these places. Then you hear about 500, 600. These shows are massive.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of people. I went to that last one you had on 104 Avenue, just by Rogers Place there.
Oh, what's
that
that place
colorful
called?
building?
Oh man.
Really colorful building.
Yeah, yeah.
And it had 2 floors.
Oh, that
Natalie
one's
was.
Pay Me Through Art.
Paint
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah,
That's
Paint Me Through
And
Art, yeah.
but
That's
I'm
different.
just saying, for the amount of people out there, it was packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, never underestimate the power of numbers. When you say 200 at a floral shop, that's still a lot.
Yeah.
And that was your lunch party?
Yeah, that was a launch party.
Successful one?
Yeah, it was great. It was like to the point where we were purchasing tickets back from people that just like purchased to support and like selling them back to people that wanted to attend that could physically
You
be there.
hustler.
Yeah, and like that's happened actually
Purchasing
to
back
like
tickets.
yeah, honestly, and
That's
that's
smart, JT.
happened
I'm gonna
to
try
all
that.
3 events that we've hosted so far,
Yeah.
and I think it's it's like really like special planning in terms of like curating. Okay, like what are the different types of people that we want to be in there? What type of like community, like you've mentioned, are we trying to create? And I think that's such a huge thing too, is that people are constantly trying to find a community that they can fit into. And Soul Search is about, opening that up and then being an inviting experience for people and bringing everyone together to form this different type of creative community. So kind of like what you're talking about, the one at the radio station.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite series that Soul Search hosts. So it's called the Recharge series. So it's all about recharging our energy. So yeah, we had like, entertainment, a DJ, we had paintings. But what I really loved is that we brought in 3 like guest speakers that just spoke for like a little bit, like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, but they were, they're professionals in terms of like health and well-being. So they might be like yoga instructors or whatever it is. And so what their job was to do was to just inspire people, like motivate the crowd and like bring people together. So that's why you walked into like a cult.
Yeah, no, I did.
Yeah.
So imagine like literally like 200 people all holding hands and everyone's practicing breathing techniques with each other.
That's what it was.
Like it was
like
just
that.
super dope. And I'm like, that's the type of stuff that Soul Search wants to do in terms of like, okay, we have everybody together, but what more can we do than just party and like create a platform for different creatives and artists, right? Because that's going to spark some type of interest in somebody else and be like, wow, like that felt really good. Like maybe I should do yoga. And now maybe you've gone and practiced yoga and maybe you actually want to be an instructor, or it might do something for you, right? So that's what Soul Search is all about.
So there's yoga there as well? Or is that
No.
just one of the topics that they had
They're
talked about?
they're
or you have
yoga
an
instructors,
instructor?
but they were
Okay.
talking about like just their meditative like techniques that they practice.
Okay.
But we do have a yoga class coming up soon, but I'll plug that in later.
That's
Yeah.
on the next
I don't do
episode.
Yeah.
I can't bend.
Yeah?
No.
Everybody thinks yoga's easy. It is damn
not. It's
difficult.
It's not. I can't even
Yeah.
touch my toes. What am I going to do yoga for?
Not even that. Every position they get you to hold is impossible. You're like, how long? A minute? 30 seconds?
Can't hold it if you can't get into it, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
I'm out of that room pretty quick. I can't
Yeah.
do it. Good for you.
Yeah, no, that's
Thank
awesome.
you.
So I
That's
guess
good
my,
too.
a question for me is like, what's next step forward, like for you guys in terms of, I guess obviously, not to, steal your thunder, but the fall winter season, little pamphlet is out.
Yes.
There's events coming up. Is your biggest challenge getting out to the viewers and out to the audience in Edmonton? Or are you guys, is that like something that you guys battle in terms of marketing? Because I know for me, I didn't know until I met Matt, right? And if you're not in the right channels, I feel like it kind of can get lost in the fold. So
Yeah.
how are you guys doing in terms of that?
I think in terms of like spreading the word and getting like numbers, like I can say that I'm pretty confident about that. Like I don't really worry too much about how many people are going to attend. What I'm more interested about is trying to get individuals discover what Soul Search is. So like just trying to reach and target a new audience. And it's interesting because every show that we curate is going to be tailored to a specific demographic, right? So let's say our upcoming Recharge series is going to incorporate yoga, so we might go towards more of like the yoga community, right? Whereas in our most recent one, the rap show that you performed at, it's going to be tailored towards the hip hop community. So it's about how do we,
and it's a lot of word of mouth advertising.
Yeah, a lot of it is like,
people.
And one thing that I love about Soul Search is that it's like genuine relationships. Like every single person that has been a part of Soul Search or is a part of the Soul Search collective that we host, like we all know each other. We all know what's going on. We're constantly updating each other with different shows and events that are happening. And that's why, you see so much different promotion in terms of like things that are not like Soul Search events.
Yeah.
Is because honestly, all we want to do is we want to promote local. So it doesn't matter that it's not a Soul Search event. It's simply that, this person has had some type of participation or someone's asked us to promote something. And it's as simple as about letting the audience know.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is that let's say you're part of the Soul Search collective and you can go online, www.soulsearch.canada.com. And so
is that where you find out where the events are?
A lot of put that in there. So on our social media platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, and our website on our webpage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's say we have this collective, right? And someone could be like, hey, like I'm having a show. And we'll like mass message all the other people in the collective and we'll all go together to support this person. So a lot of times, a lot of people are always worried about numbers. But if you have this community, this hub that's all about promoting and supporting each other, that tackles that.
I've never been to one of your shows where it felt like there weren't enough people.
No, absolutely.
If anything, it was like, I can't move in there. I'm gonna go outside
and I've had to like scalp tickets before. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, did you get tickets? I'm like, I didn't get tickets. Can you just get them at the door? No, you can't get them at the door. I'm like, what kind of event is this?
I'm
Where are we going? I'll break in.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just be in the show. Hey, do you guys want some jokes? I didn't pay for that show.
Yeah, let's go on stage. I want to be your partner in that.
Exactly.
If first tomato gets thrown, I replace you.
That's fine, no problem.
Second tomato, between the eyes.
I think with that group of people, the next one's gonna be a chair.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a tomato and then a chair. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there's that.
And
laugh.
there it is.
Okay.
It's just a pterodactyl.
We
have a pet
discussion about
pterodactyl in the room, off camera.
Let's have a 20-minute discussion about that laugh.
Too funny. So tell us. I guess a question for me is like, you talk about all these other groups. Like, who are you guys affiliated with? Are you guys open to being, collaborated with other companies or organizations? How do we get in touch with you? What if we have an idea for an event or we have people that want to do an event? Is there an easy way to get a hold of you? Are you guys doing that? Are you taking open invitations? How does that process look like for somebody? Say Omar wants to do an art show with all his art for whatever cause or whatever reason. Yeah. How does he reach out to you, and can he reach out to you, I guess?
Yeah, you can definitely reach out to us. We have a lot of people that do that, whether it's like a listening party for new EPs or mixtapes that are coming out, or individuals that are artists that want to promote. So yeah, we're always open to collaborating and partnering up with different people. I would say that as of now, we don't have like all the shows that we've done have been curated solely by Soul Search. Yeah. But we've like, especially my extensive experience in like event planning and like, individuals from different organizations. Either I've been like a lead organizer in there and I have good relationships. So we all just kind of help out, kind of like the last event that we were talking about. But yeah, like we're totally open to people contacting us, and like you can do it through like anything, like email us, Instagram, DM, Facebook message, personally contact me.
That's what I did.
I have a few artists in a circle of friends that I have around me. And so when we talk about, possibly getting together and collaborating on an event, we have 3 or 4 or 5 artists that can fill up a couple of floors. So, I wouldn't want to intrude on something that you already have set up, because I think we'd need more room than is discussed. So yeah, if you ever want to, try something like that on a month where you only have 1 show instead of 3, and you have a venue, I can definitely help you out and put that together. Even if I myself doesn't, join, just because I'm kind of everywhere, but I would love to at least be a part of it and support, like I would with any event that you guys have. Like I said, I was not lying earlier. You guys are very welcoming. It's a very friendly environment, from the first girl you see at the door, even your bouncers that you hire.
Yeah, they're really nice bouncers. The nicest bouncers ever.
Yeah,
you're just sorry.
Just getting beat up. And they always have rolling paper when you're out.
Yeah, they're always
not to throw them under the bus or anything, but
okay.
They're good. They're good.
Okay.
They're good.
I seen this one yell at a cop, so. Okay.
That never happened. So
yeah, it did.
Yeah,
I was outside scared for my life.
Oh, okay.
She was cussing out like 6 cops.
Gangster in
she is gangster, of course. She's from the north side. What do you mean?
Are you from the north side?
Yeah, she don't cross the river for nobody.
So, are you originally from Edmonton?
Yeah, I was born here, but I was raised in Eritrea.
Where were you born?
In rural Alex.
Me
like
too.
Edmonton, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Small
yeah,
world. And
Yeah.
and where'd you move to?
Eritrea,
Where's that?
next to Ethiopia on the Horn of Africa.
Oh,
she's gonna hit you
okay.
with some
Yeah.
shit.
And how long were you there for?
I was there for like maybe 6 or 7 years.
Me
Yeah,
too.
it was
I went back
when-
to Lebanon for 7
Oh,
years. Yeah.
interesting, yeah.
When I was 3. Came
Yeah, I
back when I
was-
was 9, almost 10.
Yeah, I was like in grade 1, came back grade 7.
So you kind of did
That's
the same
crazy.
thing.
Yeah, same thing.
And now
yeah.
you haven't been back since.
No. I
No,
used to. I
Like
haven't
you
been.
you visit,
Yes.
but you haven't been back to live.
No.
Okay.
No, I
Yeah.
haven't. Yeah.
Eritrea is an amazing country, by the
Same
way.
sort of blueprint that we
honest.
got with our
Well,
time.
big
That's
time
exactly
Eritrea
what I
fan.
did.
Yeah.
It was fun. You get a little bit of culture when you're young.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bring that back with you, and hopefully you don't forget about that here. And it's always there's always an upkeep with it with your
Mhm.
family and friends
Exactly.
and parents.
Yeah.
Do you have your parents living here?
My mom lives here, but my dad lives in Eritrea.
Okay.
Yeah.
You keep in touch with them?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. We go and visit here and there. So yeah.
It's warmer there.
Yeah. I know, right?
It's like, God, how do you keep that tan up?
Oh.
Tell me in Soheil. Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I thought that was your sister.
So
just a long
Eritrea is in
time.
Africa. Just real quick,
Oh my
can you just throw up a map, maybe?
Yeah.
for
Where
visual?
did you
Just
pick
put
up that laugh from? Was it Africa or was it in Edmonton?
I was in
Jurassic Park.
Edmonton. I was.
Or was it the Royal Attic when they yanked you out of your mouth?
It was the Jurassic Park.
Little
she was like that.
squeak.
The story behind my laugh, actually. So my friends
What?
allegedly tell me that I used to like hit people. You know those people that like hit people when they
Yeah.
laugh?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So apparently I used to be one of those people. So then they just stopped saying jokes in front of me, or like they would
Wow.
like back
So you
up.
forgot how to laugh?
So I can't breathe. I cannot breathe when I'm laughing.
So what do you mean apparently you were one of those people? You don't know if
mean-
you're smacking
Apparently.
somebody when you're laughing?
I mean,
Apparently
I
I
don't
assault
think I
people.
was.
You laughed that hard that you forgot what you're swinging your
I
limbs
think,
for?
I think they were just
You've
being
seen her
extra.
lose her breath and not be able to function, right?
Yeah,
When
I
she
can't
laughs.
breathe.
No.
And then
I want
that's
to be
it.
a part of the fun.
Yeah, be part of the fun. Just
Don't be
assault.
funny. Don't be funny anymore. All right?
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. Keep the comedy down to a
It just happens.
couple of
It
notches.
just comes out.
So you have some dates. You
Yeah,
brought your
I wanna talk
book
about some
with
of
you.
the events.
What's going on with the events?
Yeah. So we currently have some events happening in November. So the Soul Search event, the Recharge series. So we're planning to have that at the end of November. So it's going to be a yoga class and a essential oils workshop. So it's like based around energy and like health and well-being. And then on November 16, we're actually partnering up with Sea Tribe. If you guys
Oh, wow,
are
nice.
familiar.
Love Sea
Not
Tribe.
familiar with Sea Tribe.
Yeah, it's a festival. It's like arts and tech, and it's,
Where, in Edmonton?
Yeah, in Edmonton. It's like a 4-day festival.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And that happens in November as well?
Yeah, that's November 16 or
It's an
13
amazing
to
event.
17.
So
Sea
your
Tribe's
event
awesome.
is before that yoga event you're talking about? is
No, that
before?
one will be after.
After.
Yeah, so that one's just like a Soul Search event, but we were Sea Tribe asked to partner up with their charity event night. So it's a Venezuelan night, so that's happening
Nice.
on November 16.
And tickets are available through you guys and Sea Tribe?
Yeah,
Just
like
to
that.
clarify.
yeah.
Really
Lots
awesome.
happening in
Went to it
November.
last year.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
November, yeah.
amazing.
Deadmonton, my ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Edmonton. Just the murder rate is up. That's all. So I guess that still makes sense. Still called Edmonton, guys.
Thanks for killing the vibe.
What?
of the murder rate.
Yeah, thanks for having Google.
So this happy event that's going on.
No murders at the event.
So with the yoga event, so what do? You bring a mat, you bring a change of clothes, you sit there and there's an instructor. How does that work?
Yeah, so we're hoping to get the same instructor that. Do you remember the girl with the braids, Charlene Smith?
Yes, I do.
Yes, she's so dope.
Awesome.
The
Yeah.
one that
She's
can
very
make
awesome.
200 people hold hands?
No,
that
it wasn't her.
no.
This one, like she literally had everyone shut up.
Yeah.
Like no one was even talking. Everyone, like all attention was just diverted to
Yeah,
her.
she's crazy at
Yeah.
commanding a room.
It was crazy. Yeah,
Mhm.
seriously. So yeah, she's going to be the yoga instructor. And then yeah, we're just gonna have a yoga class together. It's gonna be at Zocalo, so it's like this greenhouse
Very
on
cool.
95th Street, and then we're gonna have a workshop on essential oils. So
That's
yeah.
super awesome.
So again, we kind
I
of
need a workshop on essential oils. I literally
I don't even know what an
know
essential oil
what
is.
to use,
There's oils
when
that
to
are
use.
essential and non-essential.
I'm always putting it on at the wrong time.
Canola, olive. We're talking about like body or food.
no like for
I'm
your
just thinking
body.
about food. Okay, so essential oils are for your body, guys.
This is how
Sorry.
essential oils work for me. I
No.
walk into the bathroom and I try like a lotion or an oil that I have that somebody had there brought for me, and I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I'll put it on and I'll jump in the shower. I'm like, I don't think that's how
That's
that
how it works.
works.
It's a wrong.
So that's whenever I use oils or lotion, I end up in the shower, and so it's useless.
I literally
Absolutely
have
useless.
0 oils in my bathroom, so I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. But okay.
I do.
Come to
Cool.
the
Don't ever
workshop.
go into the bathroom. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's go to the
Yeah.
workshop.
I need to
Yes.
bend and need oils.
We
apparently.
both need the
And an oil
workshop.
change, eh?
I need to learn how to use it. He needs to just know where to purchase
What
it.
it is. What it is.
Yeah.
What is it?
What's the use
It's a
for
good
it?
combo.
Yeah.
Good combo.
So yeah, we would just want to promote different aspects of that, right? So again, the fun and the creativity and offering a platform for local creatives,
Yeah.
and even like the creativity and like someone that's creating these recipes for essential oils, right? So it's like, how do we really like tap into every aspect of creativity?
Is that local as well?
Local.
Even the oils are local?
Oh, I'm not too sure. I have to double check on that.
That'd be
with
cool
the-
if it was.
Yeah.
Stumped her. Good job.
I know.
I was wondering if we're going to get her.
Right?
I'm
There
prepared.
you
And
go.
you brought a book.
No,
with you.
I
it's
know, right?
empty. It's empty.
There's nothing in there.
It's empty.
Scribbles.
It's
It's brand new.
empty.
We just bought it.
I forget what movie that is.
Oh, I don't know.
It's empty. I
Still
forget.
trying to figure out Lady in Red. But whatever.
You guys don't know
Lady
that
in Red.
Vanilla
You know that
Ice
song?
sang "Lady with the
You know
Red
that
Dress"
song?
song?
You know that song?
I'm not gonna sing it.
Lady in Red. You know that
Yeah,
one?
I know
Yeah,
that
okay.
song.
That's what I thought you were trying to say.
No, not that song. It goes a little different. But we're not
Everything's
gonna do it
about
now.
red.
We'll
Everything's
do it
about
after
red.
the podcast. I'll remind you.
We're gonna
Look
have
it
to sing
up.
karaoke.
So that's what you got going on in November. Anything else upcoming in December for the end of the year, or is your focus just on November? right
No,
now?
so we're hoping to do like a retreat, like skiing or snowboarding.
Awesome.
You know, again, having like fun, like, you know, creative activities that are kind of centered around, again, health and well-being, because that's like a really big part of Soul Search.
Mhm.
So yeah, we're hoping to do that sometime in December, January, maybe a New Year's party,
That'd
When's
be
your
awesome.
birthday?
May 3rd.
May 3rd.
Yeah.
You must have one hell of a birthday
Oh no.
with everybody that you know.
Actually,
She
don't
just
do
throws it
anything
through
for my
Soul Search.
birthday. I know, right?
Guaranteed she's gonna
Everybody
have an
just come
event
purchase
on that
ticket.
birthday. Call
might
it
have to
something
this
else, but
year.
you're really there for
She
the
takes
birthday.
ticket prices and buys a gift.
I
The
might
rest
have
doesn't
to
have an
this
event.
You should. You'd have a great birthday with
I
how
might
many
have to do
people
it.
I've seen you talk to and know and come to your events. Oh my God, 1,000 people.
Right in the
It
middle.
wasn't a big deal. 1,000 people.
We'll do
showed
it in
up.
this room. We'll do it down here.
On my birthday, people wish me happy birthday as I'm driving around in the car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
It's like after 12.
I get a lot of Facebook posts
Yeah?
about it.
Those aren't real, you know.
I know.
All
I
your
pay-
friends
I
on
pay
Facebook
those.
are not real
I paid
people.
for them. I paid
They're all
for them.
fake.
So they're real.
They're all robots.
I paid real money for them.
Yeah?
So whatever. Oh my God.
You're just saying that to get
Try
her to
so
laugh
hard
more.
not to
Just want
laugh.
to see if I get the pterodactyl
Oh
to
my
come
God.
right out of her.
Take that laugh back to Africa.
Whoa.
Get rid of it.
Jesus.
Come back here.
Racist is-
Get it all fixed up.
Chris, you gonna stand for this? It's Chris. It's Chris is black. Right?
Chris, jump in.
Chris, are
Okay.
you black?
Chris loves me.
Chris, are you black?
I'm a part of Chris's
Half?
family, by the
What's
way.
the other half?
Scottish.
What the fuck is going on over there? What are you?
Chris, can I ask you a question, Chris? Who does your mom ask about the most?
What do you mean?
Forget it. What do you mean? What
Such
do I
a
mean?
random
Who
question.
does- yeah,
What kind of answer is
no,
that?
it's very relevant to what's going on. Chris is not gonna get mad at me. Chris, who does your mom ask about the most? From
Like-
people that you know.
Like friends wise?
Yes, friends wise.
Your black friends or your Scottish friends? Do you have any Scottish friends? Are there Scottish people in
Find out.
Edmonton?
We're still waiting for an answer, Chris.
For the record, it's a stupid question.
Yeah, I'm confused.
It's a rhetorical question, man.
I'm confused.
I just mentioned that we're like family, and your mom asks about me all the time. Are you still sick?
No, he's not.
Hey,
Just a little bit.
just a little bit. We'll
he's
get back to
100%
Chris.
drunk though.
We'll get back to Chris after he has a sip of water.
Chris, we're still waiting for that answer for that rhetorical question though.
No, forget it. Forget it. We're cutting that off.
Like
All I
editing
hear
that
from
out.
him is my mom said hi. My mom says hi. So I wanted to prove that we're like family. That his mom asks about me.
And
but,
it turns out that
but
was
he
all
thought it was like
bullshit.
the
No,
serious
well,
question. He's like,
wait,
Turns
that-
out her
my
mom.
mom-
Turns out his mom never says hi, and that was just some shit he says to you to keep you happy.
Yeah.
Because he
I'm gonna
didn't chime
talk-
in.
next time I see her, I'm gonna bring that up.
Did you
Like,
say hi to me? Did you say
Yeah.
hi? She's like, what are you talking
You better
about?
say
Who are
hi.
you?
That's okay, Chris.
Amazing.
I still love you. So,
Chris is so confused by this whole thing. He's like,
too bad your
my
birthday
mom.
wasn't around the corner. I
I
was gonna
know.
say you're probably doing an event for your birthday. But that's May 3rd.
May 3rd, yeah.
So what are you? You're
Taurus.
Taurus.
oh God, what does this mean?
This again?
What does this mean? We had this is so weird because we had this exact same text conversation yesterday.
Yeah.
Why? What are you?
I'm
Taurus?
Aquarius, but I thought she asked me what we were joking around. She asked me what my sign was, so I was like, oh, here we go. I'm gonna get fucking judged because of my fucking I carry water.
So
or
do you
some
believe
shit.
in science?
No, she
Are
doesn't know
you-
anything. No bullshit, liar.
Okay, no.
Whoa,
I'm
whoa.
Wow, that was really aggressive.
I don't
I
blame you.
asked her. I asked her about
I
it. I'm
don't-
like, what about Aquarius? She's like, I don't know. I'm like,
I don't blame you if you ever want to be on the podcast again.
I
Totally
know. You
understand.
just need to cut Soheil out. Yeah.
Right?
you just
Soheil's
green
not here. Hurry up
just
to the
green
studio.
screen- Just green screen it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's block him.
What is that? It's a new.
Why does the mic keep moving on its own? It's really weird.
That's funny. No, that's yeah. So let us know about the signs and what you know, please.
But that's the thing. I don't really like I'm not like huge into zodiac, but
That
and-
usually means they're huge. Into
No.
it. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
The sun's
just know a
moon
little
is at
bit
its
about
fourth
you.
quarter.
Right.
Yeah. But I feel like the descriptions behind your sign, they're usually true.
Are very close.
Yeah. So like Soheil is supposed to be stubborn, always thinks that he's right.
No.
my
A very
God.
friendly person though.
No, none of these things. Some of them
These,
are.
these
I'm just
aren't
kidding.
true.
I'm just kidding.
These are
Um,
fake.
My sun's moon is out of whack. I don't know.
What's your
There it
sign?
I'm a Cancer.
Mm.
Crabby Cancer.
What
Right?
does that mean?
Why are their best
Means
friends
I'm
or
crabby.
enemies?
What?
Yeah.
So
It
that's
means-
everything,
Cancer.
though.
It means I hate you or I love you.
Yeah, it's
There's
one
no
or the
in
other.
between.
Yeah.
Don't ever get on my bad side.
Chris.
Just kidding. I don't believe in that stuff.
Not at all.
Yeah, me neither.
But do you feel like the characteristics that they say about like what your sign is kind of true?
Okay, I'll tell you what.
Sure, maybe.
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
The one I do want to believe in it. Like I go out of my way to kind
not
of think
Santa
that, oh, that looks pretty true here, and that
Yeah.
looks good there. What bothers me is it's always positive. And I'm like, no, I know some shady people that fall somewhere.
No, you're in the wrong website.
Yeah, there's a lot of
you gotta go to
they're
like
negative.
you go to like the one where it's like, today you're gonna be a piece of shit.
Oh, horoscopes.
Okay,
only
so
don't-
if I
no.
heard that, I would become a believer. I'd be like, I do have shitty days.
Yeah,
I
today's
do
gonna be
have
one.
good days. But why is it all positive?
No, it's not.
horoscopes, I
Not the
don't
one
believe in.
I don't believe in the horoscopes, but I think that they're
Isn't that what we're talking about? Horoscopes?
Zodiac signs.
different. Is it different?
Yeah.
Is there different things?
Horoscopes are like.
This is how much we don't know.
Well, I mean, like
What's in
horoscopes,
the
they'll
central
tell you.
P-chess.
don't
It's like, I
poison
don't
my mind.
You know, like horoscopes will tell you, like, okay, this is how your day's gonna go, or whatever it is.
That's what I'm talking
You know?
about.
But it
No,
is
that
it's
shouldn't
attributed
believe in, no.
to your sign though.
I know, but I don't really. I don't believe in that.
Okay, so we don't
Okay.
believe in that now.
No.
Okay,
Everyone.
yeah.
We've been oppressed.
I don't think I ever did.
I don't want to.
Impressed.
But
I was just waiting to get convinced, but
Oh no,
that ain't
she's
not here for
convincing
that.
her.
my horoscope says today Chris will be late. Just beware.
And it was
I'm
wrong.
like, oh,
Were
I
you
know
on
that
time?
It's
horoscope.
like
We're on
Chris
time.
always late. Is that what? This
No,
is?
absolutely not.
Always
One
late.
time. It's just that he comes in with that smile when he's late, and you're like, you're a real
You
piece
can't
of
be
shit for
nice.
smiling like that.
What did I tell you guys when he was late?
DPs? He's
What
gonna
did I
come with
tell
that
you?
smile.
I said he's gonna walk in, and it wouldn't bother me if he was upset about it and showed some remorse.
Faked it out.
But he walks in with the
Just
biggest
smiling.
smile on your face, like somebody's got something up his butt, and he's just walking towards you, and I'm like, how are you late with that smile on
See,
your face?
I have the complete
just-
opposite feeling because when I see him smiling, I'm like, I want to be mad at him, but damn, that's a nice smile.
Well, that's why I'm mad because
he's
I
so
can't-
inviting.
I can't be mad at him because he's smiling.
I can't be mad
But he
at him
does it
either.
on purpose. He knows we'll forgive him. That walk that he did to the
It's it-
table.
you know what? I just realized it's his eyes too because he's covering his mouth, but his eyes are still getting to me.
I feel like I need to see Chris.
You can't hide.
You guys can't see Chris.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, when is Chris going to be
Coming
on the
out.
podcast?
You know what the messed up thing is? There isn't anybody behind the cameras. We're just talking to a sheet.
He's actually on a podcast coming up, but we're just
Yes.
kind of leaving that a secret.
Yes.
We're not really.
We've left it a secret from him too, I think, right?
No.
Oh,
But
he knows?
from now on, we will.
Okay.
He's always late.
You weren't late today, were you? Okay, fuck. Then what do
Hey,
you mean?
by the way,
always
thank you.
late?
Thank
By
you.
the way, after he shits on you. By the way, wipe that shit off your face.
That's
and
why he
say
looks so
something nice.
cocky right now because he wasn't late.
That
He's
smile is
like, "What?
extra cocky.
What's up?
It's extra teeth. That's what it is.
Look at my shirt. Look how
Poor
muscular I am.
If Chris wasn't half Scottish, he'd be blushing right now.
That's number 3.
Is it? We should have a counter. Can you put a
Yeah.
counter at the bottom of the pterodactyl laugh? 4. You want a counter at the bottom, right here somewhere?
Okay, we're at 4. By the end of the episode, we should be
6. No, 5. I can't count.
You can't count.
at this rate. We should just make the number 100. I think we'll get
Oh,
there.
We could count down from 100.
I was
gonna
gonna say, like- I was gonna say like 8 times. We're already at 6. She's like,
Yeah.
meow, meow.
Tanvir's like, I'm sitting here all 17 feet of me and you haven't said anything about me. But Chris's fucking smile gets 8 minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
Tanvir's got a nice smile too, I won't lie. I just don't get to see a whole lot of it. I just see the bottom of his lip.
Your
He's
smile
14
is
feet tall.
evident. These people are off camera. I can't believe the 2 best looking guys are off
That's
camera.
what I said.
They should be sitting here.
That's what I said. She
Let's-
counteracts.
They're
Just
like,
switch. We're all closed, and then we'll just switch the scene without a seamless transition. And
You
just
will
keep
never
like
notice.
no one's changed.
My pale skin
Yeah.
turn into that.
And my head up here.
Yeah. Okay.
No big deal.
They're not on the podcast, guys.
They're part of the team.
They are, but they don't want to be messed with right now. They're
Oh, sorry,
focusing.
guys. Okay, anyway,
They got
so
gadgets,
so
it's
we
fine.
got a little bit distracted, obviously. So like we said, you got some stuff coming up in November. Do we have a schedule for December? Do we have how far is your schedule usually out? When do you guys usually promote? How far in advance? What's the best way to keep on top of it? Because I know I have Soul Search, but I'm sure I'm missing stuff. Like,
Yeah. So honestly, the best way to keep on top is like to subscribe to our mailing list because we always
Okay.
have like e-newsletters.
Okay.
So we'll promote Soul Search events, but we'll also promote different stuff that's happening in the city. So again, we're trying to really debunk like Edmonton.
yeah.
So what we do is that we have these seasonal guides. So we did one for like the summertime, and we'll like, and this is a thing too. So that if you go to like a lot of these web pages like Explore Edmonton, you know, wherever you go to get your information, a lot of times it's like larger festivals or organizations and companies that are throwing stuff, but there's so many like awesome small scale events that are happening that not a lot of people know because again, marketing is a bit hard, right?
Absolutely.
So we do like hours and days of like extensive research on everything that's happening in the city. So yeah, we have like this little guide that has like 30 to 35 different events that are taking place throughout the whole summer, and we just released one for the fall time.
It's awesome. The one for summer, and it's nice. Like screenshotted the picture from Soul Search's IG page, and I was like, what are we doing today? What's going on?
Yeah.
And I went to like, no offense, I went to like 4 events, but I'm kind of busy. But I loved it. It was awesome. And it's like every time someone would be like, there's nothing to do, well, guess we're going to Central again. I'm like, no, we're not.
Yeah, there's so many different, and like what we do is that we also put the location, right? And like we put like all that information, then you can go to our webpage and get like all the different links to, you know, the organizations that are actually hosting the events. So yeah, we do one for each season. So we just did our fall guide, and, you know, we're prepping for our winter one as well. So that will be available on our social media platforms. So at Soul Search Canada, or again on our website,
See if we can pop it up
soulsearchcanada.com.
here. We'll have a link in the episode.
Yeah.
That's
So-
up to these
Absolutely.
guys. I am not a technical guy.
We'll just call Josh.
I'm just the guy
Can I
with
say
the
that?
headphones.
Chris looks
Call
like
Josh.
he
He's
got
not listening to this podcast.
He might, man. Please
what?
shut up about him.
You can bleep it out, right?
Not, yeah.
It's not live, right?
We don't want to bleep nothing out. We're very raw.
Then why'd you tell me to keep it? Pick us Blen, man.
No, I'm just saying.
This guy-
Just saying. Let's not talk about.
Tam your nose.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, how big is your team? Like,
Yeah,
with all
that's a
these
good
events going on,
Great question.
I know you have tons of people around you, but like, how big is your core team? Like, I have a team. You know, we are a team here, but like, how big is yours? Because it seems like you got these big events going on, and it probably takes more than 3 or 4 people to do. Am I wrong?
Truthfully, it's just me and my
Damn.
girlfriend.
Damn.
What?
Alice?
Yeah. Yeah, Alice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
So-
get the bartenders, you get the bouncers, you get the door
crazy.
girl for
That's
the tickets.
insane.
Yeah.
You make the calls, you send out the emails.
Yeah.
And
We create all of our content
this-
on social media.
you are a busy lady.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is this your
social
full-time
podcast.
job?
No.
This
no.
is see, that's what's messed up about it, because this is something that she just
That's
does.
not my full time.
Yeah, she has
That's
like a
what I do
real,
outside.
like not that it's not a real job, but she has like a career, and she does this,
Yeah.
which I can't even do. I can't even show up for my real job on time, so I don't know what the fuck she's up to.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, your company, are you making some money? Is it
Is it
profitable?
non-for-profit? What is it? What kind of company is it?
Yeah.
like do you find that it's giving you enough to so you can continue doing what you're doing, or do you find that your career that you work on the side is funding that? Like, is there a lot of money coming out of your pocket, or do you feel like with these events and the way you're organizing it that you have enough to sustain all these events that you have coming up? Like, is it a struggle for you? Is it super easy? Because I've done stuff like that, not on that level, but it's never just cut and dry. Like, oh yeah, I just get people in here and
Yeah.
we'll have a party and then that's it. There's
Yeah.
usually some.
Yeah, it's actually
Bills to pay.
been super profitable.
That's awesome.
Like
Really?
That's
Yeah.
really good to hear.
Okay.
like
I
every
wasn't sure what the
event-
answer was going to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah,
Like, I-
no, exactly.
I
That's a
had
really
no
good question.
idea.
I didn't even think about that, because I thought for the most part you guys put most of the money back into doing events, but that's awesome to hear that it's profitable, because it means it's working, right? Like your model and your system and the way you
I
guys
wasn't
do
sure
stuff.
that that's what I was
Yeah.
going to hear.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the thing is, like, I always wondered, because everything's always sold out. So I'm like, you guys could do bigger venues, but there's obviously a you know underlying reason to
Yeah.
why you
Yeah.
don't, because
Yeah.
you would not get that same vibe if you threw everybody in that London hub,
Mhm.
like for an event that we did, you know, like the one that I was at.
yeah.
It wouldn't have been the same. Honestly, the fact that it was like ridiculously hot, everyone was like sweating,
Yeah.
drinking to like keep calm, and then from that you had like a completely different community like created outside. That was like and then we merged with the community with the people next door that were having an event. Like it was just like it was. I don't know. I like, knock on wood, but you guys are really good at like setting the stage, I want to say, and the atmosphere.
Especially if it's like 2 of you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
and I didn't know that
impressive.
either. That's
Yeah, you
crazy.
know
I never.
Alice,
Well, I
yeah.
know Alice, but I
Yeah.
didn't know.
I
it was
thought you
just
were going to tell
two.
me you had a team of 10.
Yeah, I thought it was about
Like
10
3
people.
people go out and do this. And,
Yeah.
But for you to do all that and have a career on the side, which I'm sure you don't want to talk about, like, do you have?
No, I mean we could. Yeah.
What is your career on the side? Because
so-
I'm interested. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. So a lot of, the community development that I do. So I work at the Africa Center. It's a nonprofit here in Edmonton. So I coordinate a life and employment skills training program for newcomers, at-risk youth, and refugees.
It's awesome.
So yeah, that's my full-time position.
You
So-
give back in all sorts
I
of
just
ways.
I just want to hang out with
The
her, because I
gift
feel like
that
I might
keeps
get
on
into
giving, right?
heaven just by accident. Like, I'm with her.
Right?
Can I get in on with her?
I want to be popular.
You're
Yeah.
not getting in here.
That's
So-
amazing.
Yeah, I
Good for you.
do.
So awesome.
I do that, and I've been a part of different groups like Africa Unite. So it was a student-led initiative, and we just had these like cultural nights that happen annually, and like those ones too that used to host like 650 people at like GMAC, and yeah, it was pretty dope. It was a good time.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
is a lot of people.
I
Wow.
got a kind of a personal question, I guess.
Yeah.
How do you? I guess have you always been? my question is, it's really easy. I find in Edmonton to have that negative mindset about the city. I've lived here my whole life since I was 1. So, I don't know. I travel lots for work, and everywhere I go, other than here, I have a good time. And that's my pessimistic point of view, and it's starting to change. And honestly, partly because of you guys. But have you always had this positive outlook? Have you always wanted to get back? Like, what triggered it? Were you like, I used to be a very, very negative person. Like, that's why I ask that question to people when I see their attitudes. It's like, how did you get there? Were you always like that? Because I used to be like completely shut off, completely negative, like hated this place, hated the people, was like almost like the opposite of racist. Like, I just was like, this place is crap. And, you know, certain things changed in my life and stuff, and that changed. So what was it for you that kind of stood out? Was it the trip back? Was it just seeing how the community was? And that's part and parcel with your job and Soul Search.
So I think me always wanting to give back stemmed from my upbringing in Eritrea. And, you know,
That's such a beautiful name.
And like whenever I talk about, you know, people are like, okay, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I'm like, I never really had an idea of like what profession exactly I wanted to host. But I was like, I just want to be able to give back to people. Right.
Yeah.
So I had like that notion, but in terms of like understanding, you know, the positivity that actually exists in Edmonton, all the different things that are happening, I realized that, excuse me, the problem was that I didn't know who I was, right? So like, again, we're always longing for the sense of community, belonging, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I found that, okay, like I was just really unhappy during a certain period of my time because I felt like I'm just hanging around the same things, same people, doing legit the same shit every single day and like not really exploring like who I am.
You feel like you're going around in a circle sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like,
Absolutely.
the only person that's going to get me out of this is myself, right? But I was like, okay, I'm either too like intimidated or scared to go attend an event by myself because my friends are maybe not at that, you know, certain period, like point of their life in terms of like going to events and discovering new things. And I was like, I just need to feed my curiosity, right? So I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go to like a bunch of like different stuff and like, you know, hang out with different people, whatever it may be.
Yep.
And I started to do that slowly. So it's actually how I started to get into like volunteering. So like one night when I was in university, I was like, you know, I'm just going to go to this like meetup, and it was at YEG, the Come Up. So it was like another like it's within Africa Center. So yeah, it's like another youth-led initiative that, you know, tackles, you know, things like injustices and the education system and whatnot within the African community, African Caribbean.
Nice.
So yeah, I started just like volunteering and like going there on like Friday nights, mind you, which is like something that I would never usually do.
Yep.
And I fell in
Prevay.
love with it. Prevay.
That lineup.
Marquee.
Oh, Marquee. Oh my God.
Overtime.
Wow. Are you dating yourself? What's wrong with you?
Name drop.
So I was like, okay, like I want to explore all these different realms and elements. So I started volunteering. And then before I knew it, I was like a lead organizer. I was doing outreach at different schools, host like basketball tournaments and like just different fundraisers. And I was like, I love this. I love the whole idea of event planning. And then I like plugged myself into 1,001 different things. Like absolutely. And just started doing that, like Africa Unite, Art State of Mind, all these different things, right? So it wasn't until I started to understand like, okay, I need to discover who I am, the things that I'm passionate about. And that's when I was like, there's 1,001 different things to do in Edmonton, because like I realized that I do like the creative artsy side, right? Yep. Whether it's like going to like art shows or like whatever it may be, but I also enjoy music, and there's 1,001 different live shows that are happening. So again, until we actually understand like, who am I? What am I passionate about? What are the different things? And like, what is it that you actually want to attend in Edmonton? Because then you're going to actively seek out those events that are taking place, and then you're naturally going to gravitate to individuals that also have the same passion as you, and then you suddenly understand that you belong to so many different communities, right? So it wasn't until I started to go on like my path of self-discovery that I was like, there's a lot of things to do in Edmonton.
And you encourage that for everybody, young and old, right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I think
An
that's
important thing to mention is you mentioned curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
That is a powerful driving force. I think anything I've ever done that's worth doing or had fun doing, such as this or art, it was always curiosity that was driving it.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're missing curiosity and you don't have that in you, that I don't know if you can teach somebody to be curious, but I think when you have that curiosity and you don't go after it, that's such a shame.
Yeah.
You know, for you to do that, that's a powerful driving force that gets you into many doors, many opportunities, but you have to be curious.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
I think
you know?
I think the other thing that for me stands out, and I always kind of pull to this when I think of anybody that's kind of in her position doing what she's doing. And there's not a lot of you guys, and there's you guys, the ones that are doing it right, in my opinion. But you're in a you're in a pretty creative adverse city, in my opinion, from the
Yes.
perspective that everyone sits in. Like,
And growing by the minute.
yeah, and we go through 8 months of winter, which is a lot of grays and whites and crap, and then we go through 3 months of construction and 4 months of construction, and that's it. Like, it's not. I've never thought of Edmonton as like an art or creative provoking kind of place. Like, it's never really stood out, and it's just starting to kind of snowball. Like, you see the outdoor events that we're doing with art and stuff, like around Rogers Place, and even the architecture is kind of starting to change towards that. Like,
Oh, look at Rogers Place.
yeah, and like the art gallery was one of the big, for me. Like, I do a lot of construction in the city, so I kind of see what comes across the planning and all this stuff and what they're trying to push through. And really, in the last few years, have we seen a shift in terms of the architecture and in terms of like the whole downtown core and how that's happening. And I think that's totally part and parcel to your guys' uphill battle, and I think it's such a noble thing to try to do. It's like, trying to make people creative when in a place where you don't really think of Edmonton as the creative hub of Alberta or anything really, Western Canada, right? The oil and gas, they're mostly blue collar, and they like their farms and their snowboarding. Like, that's big trucks and snowboarding is like the staple. So like, to have that uphill battle, like you said, you could go to a city where it's artsy fartsy or whatever, and do whatever you want to do, but here it's really a challenge. And
What I think, if I can put my spin on that, is that everybody that I talk to that's into the kind of stuff that we like to go out and enjoy or work on, everybody's always telling me that, to make it an art or to make it in podcasting, whatever the case may be, to make it into these realms of, wherever you want to end up, you almost have to go to these cities that have it already established, like Toronto, like Vancouver. Like, you have to admit that Vancouver is much more artsy than Edmonton is.
oh, for sure.
But this is where my thought process happens, is that why would you want to go to a city where that's already established?
Yes.
Why not be a pioneer?
Yes.
And you can look back at your own city and be like, look what we've done.
Yes.
Look at all the murals that are out there. Look at all the events that we're throwing. Look how people are so riled up about this art thing. And your events are going from 600-700 to maybe a couple thousand. And then hopefully one day you're doing something at these bigger facilities where you're selling out. And I'm sure you'll get there, especially because you guys are fairly new at this, even though that you've made a lot of good connections. So I'm always telling people that why not, it's kind of like real estate. When everybody says, oh, it's a buyer's market, it's a seller's market. Sometimes going against the grain and trying to tackle something that that isn't really happening there, sometimes that first person, that initiative, that curiosity that happens, that really sometimes snowballs into something big. So you tell me, let's go to Vancouver and do some art events where they're already obviously happening. I say, let's do something in Edmonton that kind of gets that going too, which it already is, but blow it up even further, and so one day we can look back and say, wow, Edmonton is a pretty artsy place. Remember in the 2000.
Remember when Soul Search started in May of 2018? And then
you know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
It's I would rather you do this here
Yeah.
than see you thrive in Toronto and Vancouver, because then you just blend right in.
And what
You
hurts me the
blend
most,
right in.
You blend.
no pun intended.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly.
And what hurts me so much is that I know so many talented individuals, whether they're musicians or whatever it is, and they feel like they always have to move in order to.
Oh, the orange.
They feel like
Oh,
they
he's
have
got his orange.
Right?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
He brings
a
an orange
tradition.
every
What happened to
single
the-
time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He brings an orange.
It's cultural
interesting.
and
Yeah.
religious.
You were saying.
Sorry.
So all these individuals always feel like they have to move away from the city in order to make it. And I'm like, people don't understand the power of supporting one another.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of people are always in competition. Like, I'm completely fine that there is all these other organizations that are also hosting
amazing.
creative showcases, which is why we promote all their shit on our platform, right? Because it's like,
That's
let's all
amazing.
support each other. And
Sure.
There's going to be this domino effect where everyone's inspired and everybody just wants to attend all these different things. But I think that's such a hard that's been one of the challenges, I think, with Soul Search, is that for example, I went to hands down probably the greatest show I've ever attended, and it was K-Riz. Do you guys know K-Riz, the Honor Roll Collective? Yeah. So it was him and Mercy Funk and Auntie Ballas, and it was this up and downtown music festival that happened a few weeks ago. And we're like, let's go. And
Where's
tickets
my
were
invite?
40.
She
It was
has
on
my
the Soul
number. She
Search
has my number.
website.
Introduce me.
But it was tickets were $40, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people that I was talking to, because I was like, yo, let's go to this. They're like, oh, $40 for a local show.
God.
And I'm like, why do you have that mentality? You know what I mean? Like, you guys can spend like hundreds of dollars and go to Rogers Place and like, you know, put on for like all these different artists. But like, this was hands down probably the best show I have ever attended. And I went with like my family and we're just like blown away. Right. And we're like, if everyone had that notion and like understanding that like, hey, and not simply just like blindly supporting, because like, I think that there's that, that's also another topic of conversation, you know?
That's like me.
We've
I'm
all
like,
been
where are we
blindly
going?
supported.
Yeah. You
and
know?
then genuinely supported.
Exactly.
There's a big difference.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, just like even just trying something out and like understanding like, wow, I actually live band. Like I love live bands. And like now maybe you're going to a restaurant that has that showcased, or maybe you play an instrument and you want to all of a sudden be a part of one. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just like we don't need to leave Edmonton.
It's
There's
a hard
so much in
mentality to
here.
change, right?
Yeah.
And like, and it speaks volumes to how naive we are about it, because people say, well, like, even the events I went to, they were $20 or $25, and you know, trying to like my roommate trying to get him like, let's go. He's like $20. I'm like, it's $20 to get into Privé at 9 o'clock, and there's 4 people inside, and the floors are sticky and the walls are sticky. Really, you're here with $20?
We're gonna have to ask you to stop talking shit about.
I know.
It's the only club that
Mike's
it's the
a
only
good
club.
friend of
I
mine.
know
Shut
Mike
up.
too. I know
Bar
I know all of them. I
It's
just
beautiful. The floors are not sticky.
they're sticky.
I know what you mean, though.
No, but
I know what you
whatever
mean.
bar,
Yeah.
insert bar name.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I might say Boulevard, you're gonna
I'm
get upset
just
too.
kidding. Just relax.
And that's
Stop
the
being so
reason why
hostile.
people think that
Sunday.
like, you know, like that's the only thing to do in Edmonton is to go out and party or smoke shisha or do this and that. It's like,
exactly.
think about how much money that you're constantly spending into that, right?
Tons.
Go
Yeah,
and do free
tons.
activities and events that are happening in the city, or even like personal and career development. Like go attend a workshop that's
Yeah.
going to help you towards something, or like if you feel like there's nothing to do, go volunteer. Like go do something.
Yeah.
Like goodness is its own reward. You know what I mean? So I think like people, like that's the type of conversations that we need to start having, you know?
My biggest thing is not knowing. And you know what? I spend a really good portion of my time on my day on my phone for work and other things, and I'm scrolling through the same 3 apps: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And if I would have known your brother, God knows how long it would take. And so my only, not a criticism, but my only, I guess, point to this is not just you guys, but I feel like there isn't enough of a voice like to the masses for us. And I think that's something you guys are growing. I think Soul Search is the one that stands out the most for me. Like I know there's other ones, and you guys have collabed with them. They've been awesome, but I don't really see, like I follow Our State of Mind. I don't really see a whole lot going on, you know, all the time. But I see you guys, even when you guys aren't doing events, you're posting and keeping people relevant and like in tune and engaged. And that's super hard to keep in Edmonton. I feel like is the engagement part of because we did it. I helped plan a comedy show with Gergish, plug Gergish, Film on. Who's an
Gergish has been plugged.
Yeah, he's been plugged, and Sammy Montana, and they came up from Atlanta. They're 2 amazing comics, and I had the pleasure of opening for them, just because I knew the guy who was putting on the promotion, and I helped him plan it a little bit, and really I didn't do a whole lot, and I was exhausted at how hard it was to get people involved, get people engaged, get people to buy tickets, get people to come, and the fact that she said there's only 2 of them doing this blows me away, because that was a 2-day, 2-city tour, and I was suicidal by 4 hours in. Yeah. So for me, it's the engagement and getting people to really open their eyes to it, because it is easy to sit in your basement on the north side and go, there's nothing to do outside.
Yeah.
Well, it's -40, and unless you have a plan, it's really not fun going outside. So yeah, it's getting out there. And you guys I think you guys have snowballed hard. If you're telling me it's May, like I heard about you guys in May, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Good for
And
you.
it's been good.
But you know what? I wanted to mention that it's important to have a lot to do. You know what I mean? Like keeping busy, people tend to take that for granted.
Yeah.
Not because we don't know, you know, the value of hard work or how much time and effort you got to put into something, especially what you're doing. I just mean like it's fun having a lot to do.
Yes.
So maybe you only have 2 people doing this, you and your friend. Sure, it's a lot more work than we expected, because we expect you to have a big team behind you, but maybe you want that work. Maybe it's just fun progressing. Maybe, you know, you got 2 kinds of people. Somebody that'll go onto a lot in a dealership and buy a car all pimped out, ready to go, and it's perfect. It's exactly what they want. I'm the kind of guy that likes to buy a car and maybe in a couple of months pick out some rims for it. A month after that, tint it up, and then maybe change the seats in it or get a new exhaust for it. It's the progression of getting closer to the things that you want to accomplish. It's not fun having them right away.
Yeah.
So this hard work, I mean, how are you going to know the value of what you've built and how much fun this is and how much you've come since then if you didn't start off somewhere.
Oh,
So
for
nobody
sure.
wants to be boosted up. You want to earn it. It's
Yeah.
fun earning things.
Yeah, for sure.
You ever try to take a day off after a week of not doing anything?
Oh my god.
It's the worst day in the world,
What am I doing?
right?
Yeah.
But if you ever work your ass off for 6 days a week, 14 hours a day, that Saturday or Sunday becomes like, oh, such a joy. You can really sit back and take it all in and really enjoy it. Same thing with work, same thing with companies.
Yeah.
So when you have a lot to do, it's fun. So maybe you only have 2 of you because it's fun having all that pressure on you to get things done.
It is, and like I think that people also don't understand the value of being so busy because it opens so many doors, right? So for example, like we literally did like our website, we do all of the content creation for, you know, the guide and, you know, just whatever it is, right? And what we do is that now under Soul Search, we actually offer a service of like, you know, social marketing consulting, right? So like
Awesome.
companies will come to us and be like, hey, like we need a website developed, or like we need flyers or whatever it is. So like now that's a part that like that's helped Soul Search grow
Amazing.
in that specific department, right? So
Yeah.
Very
there's
cool.
so many opportunities out
So
there.
you are busy. You
Yeah,
already
so-
got that on lockdown.
And you said something, Omar, that kind of sparked something in my head here to ask this question.
I'm
You know,
glad
what's-
because I never spark anything, like I said.
my head's pretty
Where's
dormant. So this is amazing. This is a breakthrough.
Go ahead.
You know, what's the vision? Like, you know, Omar mentioned, you know, bigger stage, bigger venues, bigger events, more people. But is that the vision for Soul Search? Or are you guys going to start doing maybe more events but the same size because you guys like that you know, there's almost, for me, on some of them, because I'm kind of a procrastinator, there's almost like a bit of an exclusivity thing that comes from it, because tickets sell out. Like, they sell out. I don't think you guys have had a non-sellout
No.
event. And so I'm like, I'll scramble. I'll be like, I'll text her brother, and I'll be like, Matt, are you DJing by chance? Can I? By the way, my favorite DJ, Mr. Juice. We're gonna have a DJ on the show. Mr. Juice is he's my manager, so I have to
Oh,
plug
His
him.
name is
Good.
Mr. Juice.
Mr. Juice.
Where does he DJ at? Have I seen him?
Black Dog,
Yeah.
Pint,
Okay.
Different events.
different events.
He,
He
just
does
did one
Soul
for
Search.
Lululemon.
He just did the
yesterday.
Lululemon one
Yeah,
at the
that was
pop-up
great.
shop, which was amazing. That
Where's
event
that?
was so cool.
Where's the pop-up shop?
It's in Eaton Center. Eaton Center? What is it called?
City Center.
Whatever. The big mall downtown.
Okay.
But
Yeah, that's easy to find.
yeah,
I'll
that's
just walk
all the
around
construction.
It was at
Yeah.
the Vignette, like
Vignette.
the
yeah.
the
Where the
designs.
you know where the old ATB used to be on the corner where the whole Renfrew is on
Yeah.
101?
Yeah.
Okay, that ATB's gone, and now it's like a little event center while
That's
they're
right.
changing up.
That's
So
right.
at this event, the Lululemon event, they had these rooms where they had an artist, a construction worker, and something else. They did a collab. Like each room was 3 people, so a construction worker, an artist, and I can't remember what the other person was. And each room had a theme, so it was cool. So the artist would bring the vision, the construction worker would build it, and then there was another person. I'm sorry, I don't know, but it was an amazing event. I was only there for 10 seconds because I was just I was running into Matt there downtown, and he's like, "Oh, come see this."
You're a name dropper today.
It's just
I hope they
Love
appreciate it.
Matt loves it. I love Matt.
Yeah.
But no, but it is. There's a bit of exclusivity that comes to it. So I don't know. What's your vision? Like, would you want to be a Rogers Place event? Like, that's you know whatever. But
It's
Like yeah, exactly. What
Yeah.
is your vision?
Yeah,
Like
I wanna know where
share
you're
with
going.
us the picture. We want to help you create it.
Yes, perfect. So I do envision some events like large scaled. So we're actually planning for some stuff in the summertime to take place. So we're starting to do that.
Outdoor
now.
Summertime.
Yes. I'll plug more information later.
oh,
But what we're actually trying to do is that when we took this like 4-month hiatus, right, starting in July, we went back to the planning board and we're like, hey, what is it that we really want to start doing? And again, there's a lot of different organizations that are, you know, doing great events, and that's perfect. But again, we wanted to kind of, you know, bring like really understand what's our why, right? So it's not just like bringing as many people as we can. It's not like quantity, right? So we're like more of like the quality.
sure.
So what we're actually doing is we're actually bringing it back to smaller scaled events. So less than like the 200 and what we do. So for example, that like yoga class and essential oils workshop, like that's going to be very, very small scaled. And the reason why is that we really want to focus on the creativity aspect, right? And we found that like, okay, so there's multiple events that we're going to, and like, it was cool. Like people come there to like turn up or whatever, but sometimes it took away from the art.
Yeah, for sure.
It takes away from like listening to the musicians or the people that are like spending so much time and energy. So we're like, okay, not necessarily like every event to kind of, you know, have them smaller scaled, but like, how do we really make sure that we're centering this around what we're trying to showcase, right? Like it's all about, you know, supporting local, creating a platform for them, right? So yeah, we can still have our fun or whatever, but having smaller scaled events, we feel like we'll be able to control the room a little bit better.
I'm sorry. I feel like when we mention, you know, what's the next step or what venue's next or Rogers Place, we don't mean to diminish
Oh, no,
what
no,
you're
no, yeah,
trying
not
to
at all. Yeah,
you know what I
absolutely
mean?
not at all.
But a lot
I
of
wanna know
people
where
make
it's
that
coming.
mistake
Yeah.
and say, you know, what's the next big event? They think the bigger, the better.
growth. They
Yeah.
What
growth
you just
is not
explained
a parameter.
is totally different.
Yeah.
Huge.
Quality over quantity
Yeah.
is such a big thing, because if you can have this event coming up where 200 people show up, you might get way better connections, way more meaningful conversations
Yes.
going on, because that circle tends to be a little bit smaller than 600.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you have these big gatherings, and I've been a part of a few, you kind of lose the meaning
Yes.
behind
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's not done consciously, right? But it's important to know that it's not, you know, we don't always want to go to the events that are 600-700 people deep.
Yes.
Sometimes we want to go to the ones that are 100 or 200,
Yeah.
because those end up being some of the
Yeah.
funner nights,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
So yeah, I don't mean to ask
Oh,
you
no,
like
no, no,
how
no, that's
big
fine.
you're
Yeah.
going.
I don't
like
take it that
like
way. Yeah.
numbers are important,
Yeah.
how many tickets you
Yeah.
sell, but just the meaning behind
Yes.
it and what's accomplished then.
Yeah.
So good on you.
Yeah.
You can go big, you can go small, as long as that drive is there and that curiosity is still in
Yeah.
you. I think you'll get there.
And that's what I love about, you know, the whole Soul Search Collective, is that there's something for everyone, right? So again, we can host those like really small, intimate 30 people, 50 people, like workshops and events, or we can go into like the hundreds, right? And I love that, but it's all about like creating a movement, like really creating like a culture of like people that are like genuinely interested in like discovering who they are through this creative expression, right? So again, like you've said, it's about who are you connecting with? Do you have the ability to, are you kind of just having like meaningless conversations or whatever, which
Right.
is a lot of the events that you
Banter.
kind of go to. Yeah, you just
It's
kind of
water
like
cooler
click up.
talk.
Yeah,
What's this guy's name? I don't forget. And then someone comes over like, oh, this is
exactly,
name.
right?
You know my name. Bitch, don't lie.
So we're like, let's try to
That's how it
like
goes.
bring that back and, you know, really make it so that it's very personable. Like every event, that every experience
Yeah.
that you're attending. of
So
Soul
how do you
Search.
filter out who's honestly trying to be creative and find themselves versus the guy that really doesn't follow your motto, but is a good artist and wants to be a part of what you're doing? Like, do you have a process that you go through to figure out who really needs your help over the person that kind of has it all and just wants to participate? Is it you and your friend that are just sitting there? Do you have an interview thing?
Is
that
there
you
even
do?
a way, or is it just whatever
Yeah.
comes to mind?
Or do you just trust in the process and what's happening and just go with it?
Yeah, kind of just trust in the process, and like honestly, like we're really big on like energy and just the vibes that we get from you, like first off, right? So we just kind of feel you out. Like we have a conversation, we kind of like understand, okay, like what is your purpose for wanting to be a part of this? Or like, again, majority of the people that have been a part of a Soul Search have like overall joined this like collective. So again, we're all mutual friends. Everybody meets each other. We've done things like promo videos where like, again, like 30 people have come just for this video shoot, and like half of them did not know each other more than that. And by the end of the night, everybody's connecting. And then I'll see them at other shows and those people are performing for other individuals.
That's
and I'm like,
amazing.
I love that shit.
That's
Like
so
that's
awesome.
that's all about like the connections and the networking. And a lot of it is just based on the conversations that we have with people, right?
So you do ask the right questions
Yeah.
and dig a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's
I was
got-
just curious
yeah.
because you mentioned it a couple times, and I thought, you know, how does that process go? And do
Yeah.
you have one? But that's good. I mean, you're doing it in a personal way,
Yeah,
which says a lot about you.
right? Because we just
Yeah.
want to develop those connections. So
And then what about you kind of mentioned that Soul Search is kind of branching out a little bit, and you know you still got the main engine that's running in terms of the creative side and putting those events together and bringing those people together, which is awesome. You said that you've got a little bit of an arm there in terms of planning and getting people the website and the promos.
Yeah.
Is Soul Search gonna have at some point, or maybe I'm putting this idea in your head, I don't know, an arm where you guys are just an event planning? Like an artist will come to you and say, I want to put a show on, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
what if you
guys will
get
do
really
that kind of
busy
stuff?
doing one entity of your business? Would you want to just stick to that and sort of filter out everything else, like he's saying? Or would you want to focus on something like that? Or are you...
No, is it even a possibility is what I'm asking, because like
Yeah.
I know guys who are like, I know people, like even for comedy, like we have a hard time, like the group of YG comedy and people that I've met, it's tough to get guys to put together a really good venue, and
yeah.
and that's part of like
You
not
just have to
knowing
be
where,
funny,
not,
which
no,
you guys lack.
well, exactly, absolutely. That's number one. Number two is like
You walk right into
organization.
that one.
Number
The
three is
comedians we're
time.
talking about.
Number four is planning. Like we're a very
Yeah.
disorganized group.
Yeah.
Comedians are all like very inebriated and drug dependent people, so you gotta understand we got a lot of demons to deal with.
Really?
yeah, we make other people laugh because we can't. But
We did have a talk about that the
we
other
did,
day.
yeah, we did.
I know what you said was kind of funny,
No, but it's very
there's
true.
a lot
very
of truth
true.
to
very
that.
true to that.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
for us, it'd be like, wow, it'd be awesome to have like Soul Search Inc. who is the curator of our show. We set up the venue, how many people you want to have, what kind of show you want to have, and then you guys just take that and put it into your machine, and it spits out a venue. Obviously, you and Alice are not a machine, but I'm saying that process, it would be awesome to have a company, and I'm sure there's companies like that here, but nothing with a personal touch. Like we've dealt with some promo managers and some guys like that, and they just want to push their venue. They want to push their guys because they're getting
it's
kickback.
more and it's more
business.
nightclubs
And it's nightclubs and
bars.
businesses, right?
She's not really doing that. So
Exactly.
that'd be cool actually.
And we've been
Good thought.
at bars, and we're like, we shouldn't be here. Like nobody's here for jokes.
And that's a huge thing, right? So to answer your first question, so we actually do that. Like we've had companies, we've actually had a group of comedians come to us and ask us to like manage. Yeah.
See,
So
you're not that funny.
I'm not part of that group.
There's more of you out there.
don't worry, I'll call you.
How many?
Contact
That's
Matthew.
why you haven't contacted me.
Yeah.
Now we know there's other comedians. It's me. I'm funny.
Okay.
She's the new ghost.
So yeah, so like we plan to do that, right?
That's
So
amazing.
businesses will come to us and be like, hey, like we want to start hosting events here, and we'll like come with like a bunch of ideas and kind of put it together.
amazing.
One thing that we do want to do is that we want to make sure that it's events that align with Soul Search's like
Okay.
vision. So we've had like a lot of like club promoters come to us and like, yeah, like throw
Oh,
a party
yeah.
here, there, and that. I'm like,
Yeah, no.
that's not really what we're about. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
if it's something that again relates to Soul Search and
Yeah.
it's like what we value and believe in, and it fits within like the time schedule, because another thing too is that like you never want to like have like a like imagine like 5-6 shows all in 1 month. Like
God no.
it's just too
Even
much,
on the weekend,
right?
like you would never want to be in a position, I guess, from my standpoint, where you got a Soul Search event going on and you've got a client event going on.
Yes.
Because then how do you juggle who gets your attention? Because those events. I've seen her at events. She's always doing something. Well, there's now that I know there's only freaking 2 of them, now it makes sense. I'm like, do you have a person for this or what's going on?
Yeah.
You mentioned what you were doing on the side with refugees and helping them out. Does Soul Search Canada ever like, do you ever employ anybody that kind of needs it, or is that a totally separate entity? Like, is there a room at Soul Search Canada where you can employ some of these people that you're trying to help out to do more and be a part of your team, or are you strictly just trying to do it with you and your friend no matter how big it gets? Like, how long can you do this for when you started in March and you're doing, or May, you said?
March.
And you're doing 3 events on average a month. How long can you keep this pace up without just like and it's growing?
Mm-hmm.
So how often can you keep this pace up when you feel like you're going to need some employees?
Yeah.
Do you look for those people to help you out? Do you have somebody in mind? Can somebody be hired on by you and be a part of the team, or are you not planning to grow it that way?
Oh no, we would love to grow. I think like when I first like started this, like a lot of times too, it was like me that was just doing it by myself, and then Alice is she's like my girl, so she's like, yo, like, and she's like, she went to school for event planning, like she's awesome, she's the go-to person, so she's actually even taught me a lot in terms of like event planning, like giving me like a different background behind it. So yeah, it was just the 2 of us and we were able to like manage it. So we're like, okay, like this is, and it's interesting because Soul Search started as being my part-time thing, right? So I never even had the idea of like I would need to hire somebody to help with this and that or whatever it is. Like we hire like the entertainment and like our bartenders or whatever, but I definitely think that we're getting to that point of needing to have a larger team, and even with regards to like the participants in my program, like I would so love to do that. Like I wouldn't be opposed to that, but definitely some ideas that we've been talking about during again our little hiatus and going back to the planning board.
I think you might need it in the future.
So big things, absolutely. Well, that's wicked.
Yeah.
Anything else that we don't know?
Look into your book.
Oh, look into my book.
What are we missing?
No,
Yeah, let's look through the books.
I just wrote down a bunch of different activities that people can do for like fall and winter, because everyone's always talking about different stuff that you can't do.
We want to hear it.
So yeah, you can do like archery with the city of Edmonton. You can go like biking, Segway tours, canoeing,
I'm so good at archery.
boats.
Archery?
Yeah.
Like a bow and
I'm
arrow
not bad.
shot?
Yeah.
I almost killed my
Get
neighbor.
the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they
But
do
I was
that.
really good.
Yeah, that's really
That's
good.
amazing.
Yeah, I almost killed my neighbor when I was a kid, but I love archery.
What's a
I am
Segway
down
tour?
for archery.
Is it a tour of the Segway
You're on
factory?
a Segway and you go in the River Valley.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
you know
fuck's
how to
sakes.
do that stuff.
I don't know how to do that. I've never been on a
I'm really
Segway.
good on a Segway.
You're really good on all these things.
Have you
apparently.
done the tour at the River Valley?
No. I don't need the River Valley
no
to be a
then.
good segwayer.
Segwayer?
Just my
Can we
just
get a,
a
can we get
clean,
a
just
fact
a
check
clean
on that word?
sidewalk is all I need.
Segwayer?
Yeah, that's probably not a word.
No.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, there's like the All Is Bright Festival that's coming up soon, so that's going to be on like 124th Street. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like an outdoor festival.
Nice.
Very
There's-
artsy there.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Luminaria, which is at the U of A Botanic Garden. So it's like
Oh,
lights,
yes.
but that sells out like quick. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
need to buy my
crazy. That's a
tickets.
crazy event.
Yeah,
It's
it's
very
always
cool
sold
at
out by the time I want to go.
That's at the Mutar. Right?
Please do not bring up
Or the
events
UAV
that we
Tiger.
don't have
But-
tickets to.
We don't have
That we
tickets to
can't
any of
get
these.
tickets to.
These are all sold out.
But the Mutar,
Oh
they
man,
also
I can't.
do
Archery?
Wow, you said
Another word that does not exist.
Work.
Yeah.
But they
Not
also
that
do like adult nights, like the Mutar
No
Conservatory.
way, yeah. I know about the Tellus one where you can go get drunk and do science. I love that one.
They just had one on cannabis on the 18th.
I missed it.
Yeah,
'cause I was
the next
probably
one is
high.
about
I'm so
sex
sick
and
of people
college
talking
life.
I was
about
probably high.
cannabis.
That's probably.
Yeah,
We've
but it's
been
like
smoking
Sorry,
it
Mom.
for years.
Sorry, Mom.
What's the difference now?
Yeah.
See the lineups at some of these shops?
Everyone, I
Crazy.
haven't been able to get in. This is ridiculous.
But I heard the weed was really good.
They're sold out, like
Yeah.
almost everywhere.
Yeah.
Did you not see
3
this
hour
happening? We have nothing to do but we have
No,
nothing to do but
you're
get
good.
high. Edmonton.
Yeah, there's
Called
lots
drug-
to do.
oh my God,
use
7.
use your imagination, Edmontonians.
Yeah, or use Blen.
Yeah.
Blen. Blend it in. I gotta
Mine-
blend the B and the L. That's what my problem
Minus
is. I
the
don't blend the B and the L. I go B, Len. B dash.
I'm just
Len.
gonna call you B from now on.
A
Is
lot
that
of people
B?
do that.
The
Oh.
Beehive.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just say that?
No, I don't know that.
What up, B?
thinking-
Sit down, B. Welcome to the podcast, B.
Beehive.
The Beehive.
The Blen hive.
Be yourself,
The Blen
please.
hive.
Yeah, we could have just said B.
Yeah.
Just cut that
B
all
works.
out. Just
Yeah.
cut that whole lesson.
Go on with the
Power
list.
out.
What else do we got?
Yeah, and then the winter, there's like the ice castles. You can go snowshoeing. There's deep freeze. There's ice on white. There's like this flying canoe
What?
festival. I've never been to that one.
Flying canoe.
Yeah.
I've been to the castle one.
Yeah,
I've been to the castle one.
Yeah,
and then
been
there's
to-
also with snow. Like they have snow sculptures.
No way. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I've seen a couple of those.
Silver Skate Festival.
They were on. Where did they have those? Was it on? Is it downtown?
I've never been to that.
I thought they had some on 107 Avenue, like near 95 Street or
Interesting.
something like that. So that's okay. What else?
There's like the candy cane lane. There's like ice racing. So like people
Oh,
are actually in
yeah.
car. I didn't
Yeah, I
know
heard
that
about this.
existed.
What's
Yeah.
ice racing?
Yeah.
Like you're
Skates?
literally no, like you're on a car and you're like racing like
Yeah.
on ice.
Yeah, dude.
I used to do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I do that every
I
year.
did that with my dad's
illegally.
car, and
I did.
dented it.
I totaled my car doing that.
Oh,
I ripped it in half.
And yeah, he was
I-
asking me how it happened. I was like,
I don't know.
I have no idea, but it was just a joke. I just drove onto an ice rink that had no boards. and
No,
Oh,
you
wow.
didn't
slid
do
around the
that.
car.
I did
So
on.
I've
oh,
so I've
okay,
done
that's
this event
crazy.
you're talking about, but I was only participant,
Yeah.
which is fine.
And it wasn't an event.
I've gotten practice.
All
Yeah, it was
legal.
just you by yourself.
I
yeah.
thought you meant skating. I was
I
like,
did it on
Oh,
the
no,
Capilano
yeah.
Do
Bridge.
it.
Yeah, no, I did it on the Capilano Bridge, and I hit a tow truck and split my car in half. So that's pretty good.
Oh,
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. In I don't even know what year it was.
when you say
It was
split
head
your
trauma.
car in half, was it down
It went
like
sideways.
the console
It
or
went-
down?
No, God, no. It went sideways, and
Yeah.
it was going up the side of the bridge. Like I was about to go into the golf course. Like I
You
was
know what's
flying.
funny? I heard about that.
That's me.
well, how long ago was that?
That was like 2009, 2008.
I was about to say about
Yeah,
10 years ago. I
yeah.
heard about a car that.
That was
okay.
my first car. It was a supercharged Mazda, and I drove it like a psycho and hit the tow truck sideways, and the back end just went like an egg, and I walked out the back of the car. I was like, I'm not dead.
I'm fine.
Maybe I am
Really?
dead. Maybe this is hell. Maybe I died, and this has been hell the whole time.
That makes a lot of sense. You look a little pale. So that didn't teach you anything.
I haven't
Because
crashed
you
a
still
car
drive
since
like
then.
a psycho.
I haven't crashed a car since.
Doesn't
then.
matter. I've
Made
seen
me
you
a better
drive.
driver.
I was following him.
You're
everywhere.
I was good. I was like, yo, follow
That
me.
like
She's like,
sudden like lane change that you did, like
Follow
she was
me.
wanting me to get into a car
Follow
crash.
what? The red dot.
Like,
You
what's
see
wrong
it
with
2
that?
miles away.
she's like, just text me the address. I'm like, no, follow me. She's like, no, just text me the address. All right, okay. But follow me though.
Yeah, it's the
When we
worst.
get-
So you ask somebody to follow you, you got to keep checking the mirror
I
if they
forgot.
still see you.
At some
He
point, I'm like,
forgot
Maybe
about
long
me.
term.
That
Oh,
chick-
he's one of
yeah.
those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody likes those
It's
guys.
like wow.
I was texting and driving. Her.
Her.
That's a normal. Oh, never mind.
That'd be funny if you
It was
guys
almost
like
a normal laugh.
if you guys like rear-ended each
I
other
was
after
thinking
texting each
about
other.
that.
I was texting her, she was texting me, and look what happened.
Yeah.
I'd get up and be like, oh, my back.
I'd laugh at you
Suing.
guys. That'd be hilarious.
Don't text and drive.
Yeah, don't do that.
You're leaving
Sorry,
here
Mom.
separately. You're leaving 10 minutes before this guy.
Yeah.
He'll probably
Doesn't
catch up
happen.
to you if you leave half an hour
Yeah.
before, but
Probably.
it's
I
I
okay.
follow her
When
home a
you're
lot.
driving.
What?
What?
Yeah, a little too much information.
See where I live.
Stop banging at the table,
I like
man. My
this table.
ears
I'm
can't
trying to-
handle
I'm
it.
trying to break it. You can hear that when I do that?
Yeah, you can't.
Weird. No,
Can you guys hear this?
not
Yeah,
really.
I can.
Yeah, I totally can.
No,
All right.
I hear like a banging, but like it's not loud.
Get the
Anyways.
wax out of your
Sorry.
ears.
I know. Anyways, so
Blen, it's so good to have
Blen,
you here.
thank you for coming.
Thank you guys. This is
Anything
great.
else that we need to know about in Edmonton?
Yeah, so November 16 is our Venezuelan night in
Perfect.
partnership with Sea Tribe.
Your Venezuelan night.
Yeah,
So
it's a
what's that? What's that about? Tell us
It's
about
a
that.
charity event, so we're donating the proceeds to a Venezuelan
wow.
charity. And yeah, it's just going to be a great night with entertainment, music,
Art,
food.
music. What are we talking about? What kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah, music, so like a live band. There's
Nice.
going to be some like dancing, food.
Tickets on
Um,
Eventbrite?
No, I don't think the tickets, I think they're through Sea Tribe.
Sea
I
Tribe,
have
right through
to-
Sea Tribe?
yeah,
Okay. And do you
finish
guys have them
what
on
else
your site or no?
We will soon.
You will? Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the venue?
it is at Epcot Tower.
Yes.
Epcor Tower.
They have some venue rooms there.
Yeah.
Upstairs? Downstairs?
Like on the 16th floor.
16th,
You can.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's
So,
gonna be,
so people are going to be at the bottom once you go to the front doors.
Oh, tickets, like you mean like the
Tickets,
entrance?
and then-
I don't
yeah.
know how that works, but
yeah.
like, Is
Well,
this when you get up there or what?
yeah. So there'd be like people like ushering you to kind of
Okay.
go where you need to be.
So they'll be
Um,
guided
Yeah.
up to the top,
yeah, they
Yeah.
won't just let you free in Epcot Tower for $20.
right?
delete.
So
stuff.
yeah, I'm
I
excited
really
for
was
that.
hoping for that to happen.
That's awesome.
It'll be like a cocktail and like black tie event. So
Nice.
yeah,
So
it'll be really
it's
really
a
nice.
clean event.
Yeah.
We'll have to dig around for a black tie.
Yes.
I know
I will
you
have
got
to
one.
buy one. What?
You have to buy one?
I don't
We'll
want black
share.
ties.
Two
We'll
little ties.
I'll wait in the washroom while you like wear it and have fun, and then come back. Like, can I come mingle now? And then I'll wear it.
And
go.
shift change. It's so good
Awesome.
to have you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Yeah,
Everything
thank you for
that these
coming.
guys told me about you is
Lies.
right on.
Oh, sorry.
lies is right on point. The Beehive was glad that you were here,
We're
and
so
Appreciate it.
and
Thank
it's
you for
fun because
having
it's
me.
me and Soheil's first time together.
This is our first
Yeah.
time.
Right?
Great.
Probably our last time.
I know. After
He's like, I'm gonna
this.
cut you.
Is it?
He's like, you're talking too much.
I asked the boys after.
Yeah, ask them. They'll know.
They're
'cause
the audience
listening.
we
Yeah,
have right now.
exactly.
Yeah.
Chris is gonna take your spot.
I hope so.
You better be nice
Chris
to
has
them.
got a way nicer smile than me. Fucked up.
So it's
And bigger arms.
it's a memorable podcast
Yeah,
because it's our
absolutely.
first one together.
And it's our. It's no. That's it. I
And-
thought there was something else.
And goddamn, you're not gonna wear a nicer shirt than
Yeah.
that on the podcast.
I was gonna say something. I was gonna
Top
say first
shirt
podcast.
so far. Thank you for dressing the
thank
part, especially
Thank
because we
you.
were talking about events and art.
So check out Soul
Thank
Search.
you.
You guys are on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah. Soul
Okay.
Search Canada.
That's right.
And-
We'll be plugging the shit out of it on
Yeah,
our
please
page
do.
and our affiliate pages, which
Yeah.
is just my page, I guess.
Great.
I would think that with how hard you work, you have bags under your eyes.
No,
and you're
she's
a mess.
gorgeous, isn't
But
she?
how do you stay
Holy.
looking-
Let's see if we can make her blush or laugh.
How do you stay
One more
looking like that when you
pterodactyl.
work
One more
as hard as you
pterodactyl for the
do?
Drink
road.
water.
Oh, there it is. Whoa, my
Yeah.
ears.
On that note, we're ending the podcast. And that's us.
Because the microphones are broken.
Yeah.
7.
So
You got
10.
any of this.
She's gonna hit 10.
thank
Oh,
you for
perfect.
asking the right
Thank you.
questions.
Thanks, Beth.
You are awesome. I can't wait to have
Thank
you
you.
back
Had a great time.
and update us on what's been going on.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for
Thank
being
you very
here.
much for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
You are welcome.
Dope.
Woo.